Hey everybody, it is March the 24th, 2023, just afternoon here in sunny Lincoln, Nebraska. Well, it is actually sunny. Sunnier than it was in Las Vegas the last 4 days, I'll say that. What follows is a kind of vlog, or kind of not a vlog. This was definitely a ZFG kind of trip. And so I recorded something if I thought it was interesting or I wanted to go back and look at it myself later. Um, I don't know how long this is going to end up being. It will be effectively our Vegas tips and tricks show for this week. And we may repackage some of this content at some point, particularly maybe the room video. I don't know how that came out. But anyway, so yeah, just back from 4 nights in Vegas. Got back late last night. Um, all 4 nights spent at a Vdara suite, which I think we both enjoyed very much. It was really nice, basically having our own apartment for a few days. The location is pretty good. I mean, it's a little bit of a walkover to places like Aria or Cosmo, Park MGM, places like that, but not too bad. And I guess it kind of insulates you from just being constantly surrounded by gambling and people just walking through gawking at casinos. So definitely a different experience than you would have staying someplace like, say, Flamingo or even someplace like Excalibur. And a little bit classier, let's be honest. I think I might go ahead and start out the video with just a quick room tour that I'll go ahead and probably narrate over because I didn't really talk about anything when I was showing the video, when I was creating the video yesterday morning. We were in the process of checking out and I had not yet done a video. So let's go ahead and start out. We'll take a look at that and then we'll talk a little more, you and me, and potentially take a look at a few more clips from Vegas. Okay, so this is more or less our room tour, and this is our view from our room on the ninth floor at Vdara, 9021. Small pool, not a lot of people out there because it was pretty chilly. We got the full Vdara suite because I really wanted to have this separate living area and bedroom. Taking a little bit of a look at the living room area here, you have a full kitchen basically, microwave, range, huge fridge. There's our bottle of champagne from our limo ride. We'll talk about that at some point today. And then you get a little half bath over here as you walk in the door. Oh, and you also get a washer and dryer. Half bath is nice again if you're trying to one person's trying to sleep, the other person's up and around. You can check that out. And a full dining room table, which of course we never used, but it was still kind of nice to know it was there if we wanted to do some kind of room service. Yeah, just a really nice spot and can definitely recommend it. Yeah, check it out. And so to just finish up the room tour, here's our full sort of master bath. You have the nice soaking tub, his and her sinks, big standing shower, and the usual facilities. Quick peek into the bedroom. We kind of messed it up, but it's a nice bedroom area, big king bed. Very comfortable, except when you slide over, and definitely can recommend. Check it out. All right, so there you go. What passes for a room tour? Didn't really show you a lot, but you get an idea. Obviously, Vdara, really nice place to stay. It's not cheap, but it does feel like a good value. You feel like you get something for your money. So, just to kind of sum up the trip, we flew out on, I guess it would have been Sunday evening. I think our flight was around 7:30 or so. It was on time. Flew out of the Omaha airport, which was very, very easy in out as far as checking bags and getting through security. I mean, it was literally a breeze. A little bit difficult to find. We ended up parking very close to the terminal because we were running just a little bit late, so the parking charges were a little bit exorbitant, but I'm sure we could have done much better if we were willing to stay in one of the outlying lots and take a shuttle or whatever, but that just wasn't going to happen on this trip. The flight itself was uneventful. We got into Vegas around 8:30. I had arranged a couple of surprises on this trip for the wife. the one I decided to do pretty much at the last minute, the night before actually, was to book a limo, which I had ended up riding in a limo once when I took one of those airport shuttles, and that was kind of cool. And then probably a good 15 years ago when I went to Vegas with some friends, I think there were 5 or 6 of us, and we just kind of ran into a limo driver who offered us a really good deal. And so we took it at that time. But she had never been on a limo, and I hadn't done it for years. So we ended up booking actually through Bell. It worked out pretty well. They contacted me basically right after my flight arrived. They texted me, and then I had a phone call from my driver, who met us right at the baggage claim area with the little iPad thing with my name on it, which was kind of cool. She was definitely surprised, even though she had guessed that might be one of the surprises. I had managed to convince her that no, it really wasn't. So it was pretty cool. It took a little while to get our bags, and then we headed off in the Escalade. Along the way, they stopped and got us a bottle of cheap champagne, which that was kind of a nice touch. Again, kind of adds a little bit to the experience. And from there, we went on to Vdara. There was a little bit of confusion. He wasn't sure if we were going to Vdara or Alara, which is understandable. Fortunately, it's right in the same area, so not a really big deal there. But so we enjoyed the champagne a little bit that night. Got checked in there very easily, actually, because I had used the MGM app to check in, I think, the night before. Our room was ready. Believe it or not, I know it's hard to believe, our digital key on our phone actually worked. Well, mine did at least. So we were able to just arrive, scan ourselves up into the elevator and then into the room, which, as you just saw, was very nice. Dropped off our stuff. We did come back later that night and got ourselves actual sort of plastic keys because it's still a little bit more reliable. But mostly gambled in and around Aria there that night, but had a good time. So reason I'm narrating all this is because there really wasn't a whole lot of footage taken. Go ahead and show you some of my thoughts after having been in Vegas for a couple of days, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit about Monday and the early part of the trip. Okay, so this was Tuesday morning, and just about the only video footage I took. Maybe a couple of pictures that might have taken the first 36 hours or so we were there. Looked around Vdara just a little bit, noticed that the walkway between Vdara and Bellagio was closed, which had always been one of my sort of secret passageways that you could use in Las Vegas. But yeah, it says they're making some kind of improvements there. I don't know what those are going to be, but yeah, if you were planning on making that little hike indoors, that's not going to work out for you. There's not a lot of services at Vdara. I mean, basically, it just seems like they've decided to try to integrate the Vdara Tower almost as part of Aria. Of course, you have to have a Starbucks because that's required legally. There is a little lounge over here which looked nice, and there actually were people in it most of the time, at least in the morning, sometimes just having their coffee. In the evenings, having a drink. And then the Market Cafe at Vdara, you can grab a sandwich, some provisions. They're not cheap, but hey, it's Vegas. So on this morning, as was the case most mornings, I was heading over to Aria. And so I decided to take you along on this trip. Yeah, this is the Uber pickup area at Vdara. The Vdara Aria sort of rideshare thing is a little bit confusing. In fact, it ended up kind of biting us on our departure day. So make sure you get the addresses right because it's very confusing, and it's very confusing for the drivers. So anyway, one thing I learned within the first 24 hours or so of staying at Vdara was it kind of really matters what end of Aria you decide to exit. By the way, there's a little passageway that'll take you down to the Cosmo. You kind of go down a set of stairs, and you walk along the sidewalk there by the parking garage. You can usually sneak in there through the back way. Makes it pretty convenient to access Cosmo. And probably a lot of people don't really know it's there. It's not particularly well marked, but definitely encourage you to do that if you want to spend some time at Cosmo, and you should want to spend some time at Cosmo. But anyway, so we're heading in close to Aria. But yeah, if you come out the wrong end of Aria, the wrong side, it's like Vdara isn't there because, well, it isn't there. You come out on the side by the crystals, which it feels like you're coming out of the same entrance exit because of the design of the hotel, but definitely a tip or trick is to make sure if you are staying at Vdara, as you can see, not a long walk at all to Aria, but you'll have to make sure you know which entrance and exit. If you're exiting Aria and you don't see the little Christmas tree light display thing with the numbers on it, you're exiting on the wrong side and you're going to get lost, which we did the very first night we were in town. So I've kind of figured out city center a little bit. I still wouldn't want to drive around there. Yeah, just to talk very briefly about our first full night in Vegas. We traveled around, checked some stuff out that afternoon. We decided I had decided, because we were going to do it on our wedding trip, our elopement, was to eat at Emeril's inside MGM Grand. For me, maybe a little bit of a nostalgia kick, but she's also a big fan of seafood, and I enjoy it as well. We ended up missing our reservation, so we did it this time, and very good food. Certainly not cheap, but very good food, so I can recommend it. The place is still very solid after so many years. So here we are at Aria. All right, so that's just a little bit of a look around the Aria Vdara area, which we spent a lot of time there. In fact, the only hotels that we went into at all and gambled in were, very briefly, we were at Caesars. We went to the Forum Shops and ate one night. Sushi Roku inside the Forum Shops, which we both enjoyed as well. So worth checking out. Of course, no video because we weren't doing that really. I played a little bit at Planet Hollywood. I think we did the last day, maybe. Played a little bit at Bellagio, quite a bit at Aria. I played several mornings over at Park MGM, sat at the center bar there. And they also had a 4-card Keno on the floor, which I like to play, the 4-card Caveman. And we played quite a bit at MGM Grand. Surprisingly, because they had the Fortune Cup horse racing machine. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of put in a little bit of a mix of some of the, I guess you'd say, gambling highlights of the trip, which there were a few, I guess. So this is just a few of the hits that I had along the way, and then we'll come back and, again, share a few more thoughts and a few more clips. Okay, I really don't know how much this is going to be, but that seems like a really good win. So let's just let this play out. We're here at Aria, which is, of course, right next to Vdara, where we're staying. And yeah, so really hasn't been much of a vlog so far. I'm going to go ahead and do a couple of reviews, including a room review at some point. But wow. I think we got $42 off of this, and we'll definitely take that. That's a nice hit. It's a lot of sevens right there. Usually these sevens of the world are the C blockers, if you know what I mean. But in this case, turned out well. So let's move on. $142. We're almost back to where we started. All right, so we're in the middle of a bonus of sorts. Right, I think we moved on to the next level. Come on. Oh, there you go. Keep those blitzes going. All right, so we got the jackpot upgrade. We're playing this quick hits blitz thing at, what do you call it? Aria. So let's see what we can do, man. That wasn't impressive. That was okay. All right, decent. We got 6 on the first one. Current jackpot is a massive $10. fill that up. But seriously, dude, I'm not impressed. We're gonna get like 7 on the next one. Don't think that's gonna happen, but we'll hope. And you get to follow along, or maybe we can win some big jackpot along. Well, that's 4, 5, 2 more. No, well, we're done, but we won a little money at the Quick Hit Blitz, so I guess we'll call it good. Not great. So there you go. Somehow video poker is my friend on this trip. Hasn't been for a while. Alright, hang in there. Anyway, so we're hanging out at Park MGM. We've been playing at the bar for a while. Finally managed to commandeer the few Keno machines here, playing the 4-card. Definitely not winning today, but we got a nice little payoff here. It's trying to do my Caveman Keno challenge, which is basically to hit every single possible winning combination. And I really need to hit 5 out of 5, but 4 out of 4 times 8 isn't bad. So, alright, we'll see what happens, and we will update you shortly. I think the wife is still asleep, so see how long this goes on. So anyway, we have been playing up at Park MGM several hours, and at least we finally hit a 4, hit a quad at least. So we are not winning, but we're hanging in there. So we'll see what happens. We'll let you know. 5 minutes later, we got another one of these. We do get the aces with the kickers, but I think we're gonna go ahead and play on this because it seems to be going pretty well. All right. All right, that's a win, I think. Right here with the Kenos. All right, so I think we're ahead for the day. Well, we better be ahead for the day. And then just a few minutes later, this happened. We had a good run at this Keno machine, and then we gave it back. So there you go. There's a few highlights. There's obviously a lot of things I didn't record. We played a lot of the Fortune Kept game, like I mentioned, at MGM Grand, and chased a lot of jackpots and didn't have any luck as we had on our trip back in July. So if I'd hit something good there, you probably would have gotten to see it. But we had a lot of fun playing. Also played a lot of roulette and hit a few numbers along the way, but again, nothing huge. So that's probably enough. There were also a few more nice Keno hits that I could have thrown in. As I mentioned, I always like to see if I can hit every possible Keno jackpot from the 2 spot up to, infinity potentially. And on this one machine that you just saw, we got every jackpot up, or we got every hit up to 6 out of 7. Could not get that 7 out of 7. I was kind of chasing it, and that's why I gave back a few $100s, I guess. But also never got 7 out of 8. Did get everything up to 6 out of 8. On the 9 spot, we got everything up to 7 out of 9. And on the 10 spot, we got everything up to 7 out of 10. So that was definitely the most successful attempt to pull that off. But yeah, quite a bit of gambling. Kind of gives you an idea. I didn't play a lot of slots. We played a few of them together on the sales floor. On the casino floor. Thinking about going back to work, unfortunately. And I had pretty good luck on the video poker on this trip. I don't know if I was ahead, but it definitely helped me, and I did at least hit a few quads. And then you saw basically the only really good run we had on Keno, and it was a really good run. And of course, you saw that we got to hang out on Wednesday with the Kenos, which was nice. Also saw Destiny briefly, so always good to run into some old friends in Las Vegas. So trying to decide exactly what to throw in here. Maybe we'll just wrap it up video-wise with a little walkthrough that I did over at Bellagio on the final day. I think you might recognize this area. All right, well, here's the Bellagio Conservatory. I mean, Mark upstaged me last week and actually showed it to you. Kind of a pretty display for the spring. So we'll just walk through here real quick. Got a ticket I need to cash in here at Bellagio, so I had to come over. As many of you know, not one of my favorite casinos, but certainly a beautiful area here. They do an amazing job. with this every year. What, they've been doing this for probably close to 25 years. Bellagio opened up in 98. Someone let me know, or I could look it up, but wow. Still crazy after all these years. And then, I mean, I like the lobby area as well. The glass sculpture on the ceiling, Dale Chihuly. I had a really good friend. Well, I don't know. I guess I still have him, but I haven't seen him in a long time or talked to him. Who was like into like sculpture and stuff like that, and he is very aware of Dale Chihuly, and that is his work there on the ceiling. So, all right. Okay, so just a quick look at the conservatory there in the Bellagio lobby. So let's kind of wrap up what we did the last day or so. Kind of a late night on Wednesday night. We were kind of trying to stay up, but that didn't really work because I knew I was going to crash. And then a pretty long day making it back to Nebraska yesterday. Had some delays at the airport, set on the runway for an hour, which has never happened to me in Vegas. So I guess I can't complain that it's finally happened once. So we were a little bit late, but thankfully made it home safely, still with money in our pockets. It was not a winning trip by any means, but there was a lot of good times and a lot of #winning going on. There's a few more odds and ends clips that I may try to patch together at some point, but I kind of just wanted to get out a little wrap-up video. Again, apologize that there's not more of a timeline here, that the footage isn't more extensive. Would have been nice, I guess, to at least have gotten some quick shots of some of the food we had, because we did eat really well on this trip. Also, in addition to some good seafood along the way, we had several slices of pizza over at the Moneyline Pizza, which I think is better than Secret Pizza. That's just my personal opinion. It was really nice having that there. Never did make it over to the Posh Burger. I had a My Vegas reward that I guess I better, give back. But and reasonably good luck on the My Vegas apps overall. Ended up having a total of $150 worth of free play, and I think between all of it, I turned the $150 into free play, or of free play, into about $137. So you can't complain too much about that. Definitely gave us a little bit of additional monies to play with. And when I went to the MGM booth one night, because I had left my card in a machine, the lady there just gave me another $15 of free play. So that was nice. Didn't earn a ton of tier credits on this trip. Again, spent a lot of time on machines that didn't really accumulate them. So I don't know how that's going to translate into potential room offers for the fall. The plans at this point are just to make it back to Las Vegas in September for my birthday. Until then, we'll kind of rest up. If any of you have any questions about what we did on the trip, anything specific, please let me know. The video quality, the audio quality was not the best because, again, I wasn't really trying to vlog, so I just picked up on a few things along the way. As you'll notice, there was a lot of stuff that I voiced over just because the audio wasn't that great. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put this thing together and get it uploaded so y'all can take a look at it here this weekend. Once again, as always, thank you for checking out the channel. Had a lot of positive vibes. We'll try to get back to our normal recording schedule this coming week. And until we do, I just want to hope that you have a great, lucky, and healthy week. And if you're in Vegas, I hope you get lucky. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.